Hi, ladies and gentlemen. It is your one and only Faith or Faith Joy or Ladies, whatever you want to call me. Welcome back to These Girls Can Yap. And today, our topic is going to be on sisterhood and season. As you can tell, and I look like I'm giving that. I'm really excited to dive into this topic with you guys today. So I hope you guys are ready. Grab your teas, your popcorn, whatever it is that's next to you, because it's about to be a run. Okay, ladies, we are back again. Our topic for today is going to be sisterhood and seasons. Are you guys excited for this topic today?
I am
I'm really excited to
excited.
dive in. You guys know last night we talked about community, like the importance of community, and I think this play a big role in entering into sisterhood and seasons because you need sisterhood and community to be able to get into those seasons. You know what I'm saying? So as we get into it, my first question for today is, what does sisterhood represent to you guys?
I can go first. Sisterhood represents unity and support, and obviously how it connects with our last episode, community. It allows us to have someone to lean on, encourage us, talk about anything we need to talk about. So that's sisterhood for me.
Period. I like that. I would say sisterhood really means like a bond, like that you can share with like other people, most especially like ladies who are like-minded. And also like intentionality. When I hear sisterhood, I hear intentionality because it's like you have to be intentional about those people that are in your life.
Right.
Okay. I would say that sisterhood for me means relationships with people that you have met along the way that you have now created longevity with, or even just a special bond with that now you see them as more than just water. This is now blood. And I would say that that's exactly how I feel because that's exactly how I have now fostered my relationships.
Yeah, that's good. I'm about to say the same thing. Pretty much females who walk with you throughout life. They challenged you, supported you no matter what, like uplifted you, even in seasons of downtime, uptime, whatever it may be.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, that was good. For me, I would think that sisterhood for me is having people that holds me accountable for what I go through, or like if I'm over here acting like a, excuse me, you know what's up. So like they're there to like put me back in line. So I feel like that bond of having that sisterhood is something that I think sisterhood means to me. That was pretty good. The next question that I have, we're gonna get a little deep here, guys.
Okay.
Oh,
Scary.
we're gonna get a little deep a little bit. How can we allow ourselves to grieve and heal properly going through like friendship breakups? Because in society we talk about relationship breakup and things like that, but they never talk about friendship breakup. And I think it's not something that we hit all the time. So how do we grieve and how do we heal properly in if you have like those
Dang, Faith, you
situations?
getting right into it.
Right into
y'all
it.
see
I'm
my
telling
face?
you,
I was
right
like,
into
okay.
it.
What is sisterhood?
Okay.
All of a sudden,
Yeah.
grief.
I'm so sorry. You know,
Sorry.
we have to get right into it.
Okay.
Rip the bed.
I just
Right
ripped it up. I
on.
did not
And
even
Alexa,
like.
can I hold your hand?
Burn.
No,
You forgot to
no
hold my hand.
ointment, no ointment whatsoever. Just rip the bandage up, okay?
Okay.
Well said.
Okay, well, I think that I would say that when you're going through grieving of friendships, right? That's what you said.
Yeah.
I feel like I can speak to this because I have actually experienced this twice.
Yes.
And with one friend that I do feel, thank you, and believe that I need to mend it. And when that individual was open and ready to mending,
Right.
I was very closed off. Now I feel like I'm ready. But okay, let me answer the question. When it comes to grieving, I always reflect on the relationship first.
Yes.
And I have to remember, was this really a relationship that I feel like I'm grieving? What value did I experience?
Yeah.
with this person? Because now that they're gone, am I missing a void? Were they filling a void that I needed?
Yeah, you hitting.
Yeah, and for one of the people that I've let go, one time she came back and she was like, do you hate me? And I was
Hate's a strong word.
It's a strong word.
Yeah.
I don't know
That's
who
a
I was
strong
saying
word,
that to the other day. I think it was Shade that I said I don't like that word hate.
Yeah, I strongly dislike.
Yeah.
We say strongly dislike, or we just don't like. Yeah.
Exactly. I was like, no, I don't hate you. I just think that we have grown apart.
Yeah.
We need to separate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how I would say I feel like grieving. I reflect on the relationship and what value you add in it. If I felt like it wasn't good for me anymore, then I don't think I'm grieving. I think that it's now a severance that needed to happen.
Yeah.
Heavy hitter there.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, I ripped
one
the
thing I would
bandage
say that she said that struck was like, what value did this person, bring into my life? Because it's like sometimes we hold on to things that we surely need to let go of.
Yes.
And I think that when you
Surely.
you gotta emphasize on the surely need to let go of. But when you reflect on like, the relationship that you had with that person, like what did it add to my life? What did it take away? Like, was it something where I was growing, or was it something where I found myself like, continuously pouring out and I wasn't getting poured into? So when you do that reflection and you take a step back, like, I think maybe it's the right choice to let go of that person. But in regards to grieving, I think that for me, the way that I grieve, I would definitely say that I've looked back continuously on like, the relationships that I've had. And one thing about your camera roll, it's going to remind you. And my camera roll continuously reminds me
Snapchat
of
memories
friendships and things like that, I once upon a time was in. And I think it just makes me sit down and think about like the times we cherished together.
Yes.
I think that's kind of like how I grieve. Like, oh, we used to be like, really great friends, but we're no more really great friends. And that's okay, because it's like we said, sisterhood and seasons. There's certain seasons for everything. And, maybe that relationship or that friendship was meant to be in that season, and it's not meant to be in another season.
Right. Yeah. So for me, I think we can all say that we all reflect on it first, and then we delve into it. But I was thinking like, Taye, do you really, like when you guys said, I was like, do I really reflect, or I'm just sitting like, what did I do wrong and what did the other person do wrong? Yes. I'm not the person that point fingers, but I'm just like, what did I do wrong so I can fix it, so I can be a better friend? Even if I was or wanted to be a better friend, is like you said, does the relationship, is it valuable?
Yes.
One, and do I need that person in my life? Like, are they doing something for me that is making me question my faith? Is it helping me grow? Is it encouraging me? Are they by my side? Are they winning, like screaming when I win? Or are they crying with me when I'm crying? Like, giving you your flowers. So like at some point I'm just sitting there thinking like, okay, what did I do wrong? And what did the other person do wrong? But at the end of the day, I'm just like, okay, now I'm just like, okay, well, it is what it is. Can't lie. Can't lie. Let go. But
well, for me, I've never really fully experienced a friendship breakup or grievance, but I think I'm the friendship girl where I want everyone to be friends, or the peacemaker, like where we can try and like become friends. But obviously if the situation does come about where we can't be friends, that's perfectly fine. Everyone is here for a season and then you gotta go. But I think for me, like if I were to be in a position to where, I think I'm more of a reflector. So I will reflect, obviously, because I'm like, friendships are relationships. Sisterhood is a deep relationship. That's pretty much like blood. And if I'm sitting in a situation where a situation went bad, I'm going to reflect and say, okay, what's going on here? Is there a way to fix it? If not, okay, I'm going to let it go. Like, but at the same time, everyone has their teacher's own, is what I'm going to say. Teacher's own.
And I think that it was like this year that I literally had to sit down and be like, do I really grieve properly to be able to heal from friendships? And I noticed that I never like fully heal from certain things that I go through, because like it took me a while to kind of register that, oh, that really happened to me, you know what I'm saying? So it takes a little time for me to register like, oh, I just lost somebody that was like really close to me over something that have been like a little misunderstanding. We could have just talked it out. And I'm just like, did I really grieve properly? Or did I even think about the situation that much to be able to like heal from it? And then after a while, and it hit me, I'd be like, oh, wow, that really did happen. I didn't really heal from it. I didn't think much about, I thought about the situation, it hurt me, but I didn't really find a way to let it, like to deal with it, you know what I'm saying? My coping, I think that's another thing with my coping mechanism and stuff like that too. I think I just let it happen, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, it's not that big of a deal. But the whole time it is a big of a deal. So I don't think I really necessarily heal properly from friendships.
I was about to say, in actuality, I remember when we always like, we would talk about situations, I would like, have you talked to the person yet? Because I mean, like I said, I'm the peacemaker, but talking to the person sometimes make it a little bit better. Because you hear both sides. Obviously you can decide at the end like, okay, girl, you gotta go. You're not in my life no more this season. You said you gotta go. This book is closed.
This chapter
ended. Saying that, ironically enough, I thought about it when Jackie said memories. The type of growth I'm at right now, and I'm praying that
I'll get to a point where I delete pictures because
Amen.
I have a hard time deleting pictures. I see everything's a memory, but I literally have like I put all their pictures in a shared album and I say close. I literally title close chapter with the person's name.
Wow.
So I mean I actually
Never did that before. Whoa.
so if you know when somebody says, "Oh, I'm scared," if someone sees that text message, though, I'm scared about them seeing the photo album. Hold on, because once they see them, like, "Oh, you had a close chapter with that person." Yes, ma'am. I hit.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So why do you do that? Why don't you just get rid of it?
Yeah. I feel like I'm not fully. I still in an early stage of reflecting.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, okay, if I have
healed.
yes, have I fully grown and healed from this part, or is it still coming back to my mind like, okay, this thing actually still is affecting me now, where I'm still like mentally at my capacity. I've like, okay, I can finally let go of this person, delete it, done. But it's more like, okay, Taye, this still is a problem for you. Even if you wanted to go back, I'm not going to double back.
Wait, so are you saying like you're reflecting and still deciding?
Yeah, because I'm feeling like you're still giving grace and maybe
Yeah.
open space.
Grace can be extended, you know.
More like,
But to a certain extent.
yeah, to a certain extent, but more like, for me, it's more like I want to, obviously, not the people pleaser mindset. That's what it sounds like, but it's more of like, I don't like ending things on bad terms.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're like, their closure could happen here.
Yes.
So until the closure happens, I'll just keep it on the side.
Yes, and I'm always the person like maybe 10 years from now we can become friends. I always say the 10-year mark because 5 years, but people don't change. 10 years is that gap year that, okay, you a new person. Okay, you sure? Let me see you do something. See that'll trigger me. Yeah.
And that also plays into a part where I was just watching the sermon, guys, with Pastor Jerry Flowers.
Okay.
One of the quotes that he had in his sermon was, this is part of his Therapy Thursdays that he does every Thursday. It was like, the more you replay the scene of your trauma, the more you give CPR to your pain. Guys, when I tell you you're convicted, I'm telling you, he convicted me. He said the more you replay the more you replay your problems, the more you give CPR to your pain. So the more you keep thinking about things that goes on in your life that hurt you and stuff like that, the more you open way to give like pain to that problem.
Because I just got conviction. I can't lie.
I'm telling you that when she was talking, I was
those albums.
Yeah.
Like that's
like literally when she was talking.
You're holding on.
Exactly, and
You're giving light
that's
to something
another
that's
conviction that I had.
I'm not gonna hold you, Taye. It sounded like you're keeping a cemetery.
Yes. I'm telling you, conviction. Conviction.
And that's the word
Like,
that popped up in my head.
Yes.
Like, hey, are you keeping a little space in your phone for relationships that are dead?
Yeah. Because it's like you're not in communication with those people. It's not relationships that you're nurturing. It's not relationships that are like, bringing you any good.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like you said, you want to go back and look at it maybe in the nearest,
10 years.
Yeah.
But 10 years is a long shot.
Yeah.
But,
in 10 years is like, it's not hope for myself, but it's like a mental concept that I have for myself. Like, okay, give people grace because they're in that season, they might have been going through a lot.
I understand the grace part.
I do too.
But it's like the separate album for them individually, it's just like they're holding weight.
Yeah.
True.
And it's like sometimes it's like, you can delete it. In the nearest 10 years, you will take more pictures.
Yeah.
You'll take new pictures. You know what I'm saying? No, not even.
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true.
That is true,
If the
though.
relationship were to be rekindled, y'all can build on better soil.
Yeah.
You know, if it was in the past where it's like, okay, or things didn't work out. Okay, yeah, that chapter closed.
Right.
And I like how Kenny said earlier, it's a closed chapter. But sometimes when you try to amend things with people, like mend things with people, and you're the one always like continuously pushing to see better. And I'm like, let me make sure, babes, like, are you okay? We can talk about this. But you're the one continuously pursuing them, and they're not really pursuing you the way that you were pursuing them. I think you really need to take a step back and say, maybe it's not
fruitful anymore.
Yeah.
It's
not fruitful for this.
and it's okay. It's
Right.
okay. The Lord will bring better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, it's just an advice, You don't have to keep it there.
And like earlier when Taye was talking, like she said, she keep memory, like she keep like the albums saying, move on, in her albums. The reason why I even made that quote is because I got convicted myself. I'm telling you, because I definitely hold on to certain things that happen in my life and keep replaying the scene and keep talking about it and keep like maneuver and keep giving CPR to my pain, basically. Like I keep bringing those things back to life, and I need to get rid of it. So like that plays in
Then maybe you didn't. You're not
heal.
over it. Yeah, and
Exactly.
like we said to Taye,
That's
you
definitely
need
okay.
closure.
Exactly.
And then that goes back to Kenny asking, did you talk to them?
Yes,
But
like,
what if
and
that
then the
person
thing
don't? I
is,
can answer
I
that
always
question,
do
yes.
talk. Yes, no, I would answer that
Yeah.
question
I know
too
you
as well.
talk. I know
You
you
know, I
talk, babe.
talk. I talk about it, but
Yeah.
it's just like I be sitting there and think like, damn, what did I do wrong? Or like sometimes you just have to question yourself and be like, was I like, what, did I do something that was not like talked to me about, or like you didn't say something to me ahead of time for me to fix? Because you know things are simply easily done if you just communicate it and conversate with me, because that way I can be like, oh, I did that, and then I can get reflection on myself and be like, okay, I can take back and take accountability
Yeah,
of what I
that could have
did.
been the
Yeah,
smallest thing
simple,
too.
literally,
Like, dang,
the
girl,
simple.
that wasn't my intention.
Exactly.
But that person's assumption of it, because you guys didn't have a conversation.
Yes.
They're going to run with that.
Yes.
I was just about to say, like, the example I had with one of my great friends. I was like, I felt some kind of way towards like how we were supposed to go out all the time, and then it kept getting canceled. And I was just like, girl, I don't know what's going on, but I really don't feel, I feel disrespected. And we had a conversation about it, and from there it went well and moved forward.
Yeah.
If the friend is not able to progress from that situation, that conversation, let it go.
That's good. Right.
Right.
And one thing I will say is, as much as we talk about communication being so important in like our intimate relationships, communication is important in every relationship, including your close girlfriends.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if I were to do something to any one of y'all, it is valid that you will come to me with that and we will address it. But you know, when it comes to a time where it's like, okay, something is done, maybe that person is still trying to handle what happened, and that's understandable. But now if you completely leave a person in the dark, where it's like, okay, something happened that they're unaware of, and you just go and you create like a whole about it, and then this person is here like trying to mend things with you, and they're reaching out to you and trying, to make things work. And it's okay if you don't want to make things work, that's fine. But you can't be going to 3 other parties, and this person that you have an issue with, you have yet to address that issue with
Hold on,
them.
girl, you
I
talking to
think
me or
that's kind of
something?
like
I was about to
where,
say,
that's kind of
share
like
your
where the
story.
relationship is like, okay, where were you originally in this relationship? Like, were you really for me? Because it's like, if, what happened that you can come to me, as a friend, as a friend. I will quote it, because if I was really your friend, you would come to me with that,
Right.
and we will
Friend,
address it, or
sister.
we would talk
As
about
a
it.
sister.
But like, what happened that you didn't come to me to talk about it, but you went to 3 other ears to talk about it? Now, those 3 other ears have interpreted the situation differently.
Well,
Like,
I
they
don't
should have
do.
not interpreted it. And
Now
now
Paul
we're
and
back.
John
We're
know about
back
your
here
story.
where it's like, okay, something happened between me and Gia, but Gia don't know. And I've told Kenny, Taye, Faith about it.
That's my
You
biggest
know?
pet peeve.
Me
So
too.
it's just-
I'm
it's
telling you,
just
bro.
Communication is so important.
I'm a confess.
Communication is so important.
I'm a confess.
She's laying it down on the table, guys.
I have done this, and it goes back to the relationship that I know I need to mend.
Yeah.
I started to seeing that my friend was distancing herself from me, and I was starting to get worried. Let me not say me. She was distancing herself from our friend group, and I was starting to get worried, and I was getting agitated because I would always reach out, right?
Yeah.
But she would always like either not respond or come back later on, and I started to feel like, dang, like, are you good, bro? Like, is it me? Do you have an issue? Because I'm seeing you with other people and you're not with us. And I was like, okay, maybe, we're not serving her in the season that she's in or something. And I would talk to one of my good girlfriends. She's still in my life. Shout out to you. You know who you are. I would always talk to her, and I'm just like, what is going on, bro? Because now she's like, she's doing this, she's doing it, and I'm telling her about it, and then she always comes back with a excuse. And my friend was like, just talk to her, Gia. Da 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 da. And it came to the point where I did something, and we eventually didn't talk about it. It just like we kind of spazzed out on each other, and then it just died. Now it's been like, I don't even know how many years. I've gotten engaged. I have my home. Somebody I thought would be my bridesmaid that was always there with me, now she's gone. And it bothers me because I'm like, dang, I got engaged and she wasn't there. I have my house and she's not there. She would be someone that would always pull up.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, I miss my friend. I need to go get my friend.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So get your friend.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my friend.
Like, Gia, exactly what you were talking about. Like, no, but what Gia said definitely is something that the reason why Kenny just kept saying, it's because it's like, one, oblivious. I hate being oblivious. like I said, I actually am gonna use the word hate. I know you don't like that word, but I literally hate being oblivious to situation that involve me. And if you can talk it out with me, I'm not somebody that's like very hard to approach. I think that a lot of people get that mistaken about me and stuff like that, but I'm not hard to approach. Like I'm literally so easy to approach it with anything that you have to say to me. Yes, I might be a little bit on defense sometimes if it catch me off guard, but at the end of the day, I still definitely am not like I will listen to it and then I'll probably reflect and come back. So my biggest thing is being oblivious. And she was talking about a situation where being oblivious, I guys, I really don't like it. And then also when Gia was talking about, oh, she needs to get her friend back, I literally have a situation that I'm going through right now in my life with that. And I've been praying to God, I'm like, is this a friendship I want to remand? Or if it's somebody I want to talk to? Because I'm telling you guys, tight. This was my friend for like, she was gonna probably be one of my bridesmaids, like you said. Like if I'm getting married, guys, I'm not, you know. But yeah, no, definitely. When I said like when excuse me, Mr. Hubby, if you're out there, when. Anyways, yeah, but but like it plays back into like, yeah, do I want to remend this friendship? Because like you said, you would text, she wouldn't respond, ghost, girl. Sometimes I be thinking, girl, sometimes I be thinking that this is my boyfriend because she be ghosting me. She really do be ghosting me, and I really do. Yes, like, and I really do miss her. But at the same time, I'm like, I literally am the one that I'm very 100% into the friendship. I'm always giving. I'm always pouring out. I'm always reaching out. It don't matter. And I always tell my friends, I'm like, you don't have to explain your life story to me if you're going through anything. Just give me a little heads up that you're taking a little break. And that way I know how to navigate on reaching out to you and not bombarding you with text messages, calling you. That way I know how to, like, I know how to respect your boundaries. But like, if I feel like I'm left for the dead in the water, in the desert with no water, excuse me, I'm literally, I will cry myself to sleep.
I'll actually speak on that. Like,
Because
it's really hurtful.
I know.
Things like that is really hurtful. Like one thing about me, my mom has said this to me before, and you know, as I grow older, I come to understand that like when I encounter people or like, you know, people come into my life, I don't view them as evil people. Like I don't view you as someone who you're coming into my life to hurt me, or you're someone who, you know, you're not for me. Like I always view people the way Christ would see them.
Yeah.
You know, and I think over time as I grow to know that person, you know, the relationship just, you know, nourished from there. Yeah. But I've come across a lot of ladies that I thought that, bro, we in this for life.
Yeah.
For life first. That's not what it is now because they're not in my life anymore.
Right.
You know? But and then the thing is, you have to know where to put people in your life.
Come on. Ooh,
yeah.
You preaching, Jack.
Let's actually dive into that really quickly. You have to know where to place people in your life. And I remember it was Kehinde that we were having this conversation with, but I had this conversation prior with other people before, where it's like you have a circle for a certain individual, you know?
Yes.
So it's like you have the inner circle, the outer circle, you know, have areas in your life where people stand. Because it's not everybody that you think is for you is really for you the way that you think that they are for you. That's why sometimes your expectation, decrease it. Bring it down.
And unfortunately, like I feel like when someone hears that, they're like, "Oh my gosh, why are you putting people in categories? Either you're friends or not friends."
It's needed.
It's because if I don't do that, well,
I can get easily carried.
Everybody's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I can get easily.
And everybody's gonna be arguing. Nobody's gonna feel the substance value is what my important part is. Is that relationship have English is not English.
Excuse me, mama. Excuse me, mama. What's happening?
That reminds me of
the substance
because you said purpose.
Purpose, yeah.
Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Okay? Under the heaven. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Okay. Period. When I say, I don't even know, like I said earlier that for me personally, I don't have any breakups, nothing. And like most of the time, I have like my best friend since the 4th grade. Like we're nearly similar, like carbon copy. I feel like when I could say to you today that she's like a sister to me. Like I feel like she's here. Like, she's gonna be my bridesmaid, like maid of honor. Like if they say my husband has only one groomsman, she could be the only one standing there. And I'll take it. Ma.
Hello.
Not even trying to be like that. I wasn't
processing it.
So sorry.
I only have
one. So we wasn't it.
I wasn't processing it though.
Y'all don't have time. But I'm saying,
Yeah,
if
you
the
know
person
Taye's
only has
twin and them.
long groomsmen, I can trust her to be there.
Yeah.
Right.
No matter, like I remember when I went through times up and downs where like not even anybody knew. Like besides even Taye, like Taye would know stuff, but like I would sit there bawling my eyes out. She was there, like that's a purpose-driven friend, like a sister.
Yeah.
Yes. I like that.
And yeah,
I really do.
ladies,
I
and
really
that
do.
plays into our next question.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're going deep, guys.
Let's go.
This one, oh y'all want to go soft? I'm gonna hold you guys' hands and say this. It's not gonna be soft.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you. It's not gonna be soft. Literally, that plays into our next question: is how can you correct a friend while balancing / giving them grace and actually making them take accountability of like what it is without like with them not feeling like bad about the situation or like feeling like oh they like feeling like a bad friend, how to approach that situation.
Can I say this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Everybody grew up differently.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Everyone grew up differently. Everyone's character is, I mean, well, let me not say character, personality, who they are. Like in the Bible, it says everyone, hold on. In the Bible, it says everyone's a new creature.
Yes.
Or new creation. New creation.
Hey,
But
what is happening today?
everyone is made in their own way. God has made them in their own image.
Yeah.
But there's people who do not know certain behaviors that they have that reflect from what they grew up with and now bring it out into their reality. And they're now saying, oh, well, I'm not like that. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. But to answer your question, there is ways to actually communicate with that. Like I told you, I'm very upfront with people. I'm very peacemaker. I'm gonna be like, hey, touche, that behavior you have, low touche. Go fix it.
Go fix it.
Because I've grown in a household where my mom has always told us about. She's a DMP. She's a DMP, and she used to say, "Oh, do you want to react like these crazies out here?" Because their behavior, they're mentally not able to control certain behaviors. So that's the same thing that applies to our relationships, whatever it may be. And it's just like if their behavior is not right, you need to at least have a conversation. Obviously, you need to be gentle about it because some people cannot take criticism at all.
They think
And
you come for them.
it could be like, they could be like, y'all talking to me like that. Mind you, you're being very gentle and they can take it anyhow, anyway. Like everybody thinks differently. Like you can even say like how Gia said earlier, it wasn't my intentions to make you feel that way. I apologize. But recently I've noticed that this has been happening like so many times or something. Like just be gentle about it. But like I said, like how I said earlier, not everybody talks in a way where people can understand or explain properly to where they can like, oh, everyone's own understanding is differently.
Yeah.
So if you say it this way, I'm like, some people can take it, some people can't. And another thing is like a lot of people have to be able to take the time to learn about themselves to actually say, oh, do I actually understand when someone is actually talking to me? Or am I just being so quick and jumping off the whim off the first thing they say? Because you're not
taking
supposed
it and
to do
running
that.
with it.
Yes. And also that plays into a situation that I had with somebody before. And my cousin made a statement to me. She was like, it's like she think everybody is out to get her. And it was just like, okay, you would say something or you would do like you have a certain way. For me, I'm not the type to just jump and just give you that like criticism like that. It takes a while for me to kind of confront you if I see your behavior multiple times. I'll give you grace one or two. Like I'll give you like benefit of the doubt like the first and the second time, and then I will actually go in and like talk to you about whatever it is that you have done. Because I'll be like, okay, this person was probably nervous in the setting that she was in, especially depending on the settings that we're in as well. They was probably nervous around the people. You know, some people are very socially awkward. I'm not gonna hold you. I used to be like that too. I'm telling you, I used to be talking. They'd be like, "Fifth, shut up." Like it's enough. Keep quiet. Like
Total
keep
conversation.
quiet. But that was like my.
that funny.
That was like my. That was my mechanism of like just not being socially awkward, you know what I'm saying? Like just yapping it up, tucking my way into things, you know? But yeah, so it was a situation where it's like something happened and we go and tell everybody about the like me. The word she used was aggressive. She said, "You aggressive." I said, "Oh." So I asked Jackie. Jackie know about this. I asked her, I said, "Jackie, was I aggressive?" Like, because I want to know, because sometimes I'll do certain behavior and I don't know I did it. Because it's just like, I'm not really realizing that, oh yeah, I might
And that
have like
moment.
used my words in a harsh or tense, or my tune came out right. So when I first hear it, I'm not gonna hold you guys. Yeah, I had like that wall up front. I was like, what? I'm aggressive? You said I'm aggressive? Like literally, it was literally me on a defense because it was not expected. I didn't know I had that. Like, so I asked Jackie them, and they said, yeah, you did. They said you was a little, and I was like, okay. I sit down, put myself in the shoes, but it was just like she will always think people was out to get her, like you were saying earlier. And I don't like when my friends think that I'm out to get you. Yeah, girl, I'm not from Baltimore. I'm sorry.
I'm crying.
So go ahead.
I think
I'm not from B-more.
yeah.
I'm from Baltimore, but like I'm from
But
Liberia.
I would say that, and this is a tactic that I use in all my relationships. I always process what I'm going to say in my mind first and how I'm going to say it to the person. And I will play out many different scenarios as to how they will take it.
Right.
Now, one thing is for certain, we are grown.
Yeah. Very grown.
To grow up.
Yeah.
If you value somebody in your life, just like Kenny said about having a purposeful friend, if you value this person in your life and they have come to you, and she's not about to come to you like, girl, I don't like the way you act. You'd be like, girl, I just wanted to say, like, this is something you did that offended me. If she came to you like that, she's not trying to be offensive. She's not trying to hurt you, and she's not trying to, ostracize you. She's just trying to let you know that, hey, I noticed this. I would like if maybe we could work on how we approach this.
Yeah,
and you should be open to taking that criticism. Now, if you're not open, and just like Faith just gave her as an example, you need to take a step back and you need to reflect.
I did.
It's okay to now come back to that person.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to now say, oh, I've changed and now I don't want to mend that relationship. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it
wanna
anymore.
shut it completely.
You don't want to shut them out, and you don't want to shut it out, because now you're depriving that person too of your
talk,
relationship.
I like that. And we would take it back to Proverbs 37:17.
Come on.
Iron sharpen iron.
Yes.
So one person sharpens another.
Yes.
But when we deep it, sometimes sharpening can cause friction. Sometimes people will not receive you the way that you intend for them to receive you. And that's okay. That's
true.
how they are, And like Faith said, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
But when you really, 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 really look at it, a lot of times, being honest with a person, honesty sometimes is like, it's brutal, because that's honesty. You're being honest. You're telling someone about themselves. You're telling them, how they should be. But it's like you said, there's a way you can approach that person.
Yes.
If I've been knowing Gia for a long time, and I see how Gia, handles situation, I will know how to approach Gia with certain things.
Yes.
If I know how Kenny, reacts to things, I will know how to approach Kenny with that thing.
Right. Yeah.
But it's like, if we know these people and we're coming to them off of like a complete different, maybe that person will put up a light, where it's like, okay, now I got to respond to you in a way where it's like, oh, whoa, I'm not coming to you like that. You know what I'm saying? But when you really, really take a look at it, iron sharpen iron, there should be a time in your relationship where a friendship where you're supposed to sit down with your girls and have that conversation, because it's needed.
Yeah.
And like we all said, it's a way to approach it and it's a way to go into it. Mm-hmm. But that's the question I even ask myself. How well do I take criticism? Mm-hmm. Like, if somebody's coming to me telling me about myself, like, is my immediate reaction to get mad, to get offended, or to take a step back and think about it, where it's like, okay, yeah, where they're coming from is valid. And, I may have done this thing, but in that moment, I wasn't self-aware.
Yes.
But now that they're telling me about it, okay, I'm going to make sure that I'm self-aware next time so that we don't go down the same path.
True.
So it's definitely a way that you can approach a situation if you got to talk to a friend about something that they had done in the past, to correct them. Because like you said, I'm supposed to sharpen you. You're supposed to sharpen me.
Yeah. Right.
So, yeah.
I wanted to say, life without Christ is very problematic. But life with Christ is is graceful and favorable.
Yes.
And I don't know why that came to my mind, but it's more like how I was like sitting here reflecting on, Taye, how did you react with your friend group, or how did you behave with your friend group before you had Christ, and how do you act now with Christ? And the first thing I was thinking of, like, okay, Taye, I definitely was I never mentioned anything. If something bothered me, I never spoke up for myself. I never defended, like, oh, I didn't like what you said. I was just like, okay, I'll sit in my own overthinking, my own thoughts, rather than dealing with the problem front, head, and forward. Like, okay, I don't like that. or this bothered me. I didn't realize certain things were just not adequate to my character.
Yeah.
So now when I think about, okay, Taye now, the present Taye, if I don't like something, you gonna know. You're
Her
going
face
to know.
gonna say it.
Yeah. My face, if my mouth does not say it, my
Her
face
face gonna
will
say
forever say that.
Yeah.
And I 100% say now, like, I feel like I'm the type to, I'm proud of myself, actually. I'm very proud of myself because the growth that I had from then to now was like, for me to even take the time to sit down and tell a friend, okay, I didn't really like what you said. It really bothered me. Or I'm a firm believer, what you said is not what you're saying, it's how you're
How
saying
you say it, your tone.
Yes. And I'm a quick person to say, oh, that's rude.
She definitely gonna tell you that's rude.
Clock that.
But you know what, Taye? When you just said that, it reminded me of this verse I just wrote down, and it says in the Bible, "And let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds."
Yes.
10:23-24. Because, like you said, you reflected on how you were before Christ and how you are after Christ.
Yeah.
And now that you know Christ, just like how God gives us grace in every situation, and how you know when you do something, you're thinking about, dang, how would, if I was in front of God right now, how would he be able to take that? Or how would he correct me? What would Jesus do? WWJD. And just like you just said, you are considering how you treat somebody now.
Yeah.
And it's because you know Christ.
Yeah.
So in every relationship, that's another thing. It goes back to the importance of community. If you're in a community where there is a bunch of friends who y'all don't talk about God at all, it don't come up in any conversation, no topic, no nothing, reflect. Especially if you want to change.
Yeah.
It's
That was my big fact.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
And guys, that plays into our next questions. I know you guys want something soft, so I'm gonna give you guys something a little soft because we're wearing flowers, okay? Okay, I'm gonna hold you guys' hands this time and tell y'all. I will give you guys a little bit of a soft question.
playing? Okay.
Yes, I'm for real.
Are you playing?
No, I'm not playing with y'all. Okay, so actually, no, I'm gonna ask this question. What's one thing that you could do today that could strengthen your sisterhood in Christ?
Yeah. Well, prayer. Honestly, prayer, because without God, you are no one. And especially if you want to like build your community, pray about it because discernment is real.
Prayer,
Like
move
all of
mountains.
us, like in our walk in Christ, you have to pray about people, like especially if it's new or even going to a new environment or something. Like if I'm going to school, like a new school or something, it used to be hard for me to make friends because I was the awkward friend. I didn't talk. I'm antisocial. I was just like, I don't know how to make friends. So sometimes I would just literally just sit somewhere and stop.
me though.
I know. Thank you.
Twin and am.
In a room. But literally, like it used to be so hard. And I used to tell my mom, like, I don't have no friends on school. Like the school was so big. She's like, have you prayed? And literally I used to now, thank God, because now I have friends who either are prayerful or who just came to me like, oh, and they came to me, spoke about God first. Not just, they just came, let's be friends.
Yeah.
They're women of God, men of God.
Yeah.
So it was just like, oh, okay, God, you hear me. Okay, I see you.
Yeah.
I see you.
I would say prayer as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that that's important because when you pray,
Mm-hmm.
God hears you. He answers all prayers. He will bring you the community that you're searching for and that you need in the season that you're in.
Yes.
And
You
when
only got time one
receive
time.
that, when you receive those friends and, that community, you need to also know how to steward it. So
Yeah.
pray for you to be able to receive good community and also pray for you to be able to steward your friendships the right way. So I would say prayer as well.
And I'll just add to what she said because I like that, girl. Yeah, definitely prayer. Prayer is important. Prayer is definitely important in every aspect of life, but most especially when it comes to the people that we're surrounding ourselves with, praying for them continuously because we need to know how to intercede for one another. As much as we intercede for ourselves, we need to know how to intercede for the people that the Lord has surrounded us with. So definitely prayer. And another thing, I always say this, I've voiced this to a lot of young women, and is to be intentional about, the relationships in your life. I think for me, one thing I would say moving forward is just to be intentional, because it's not like I wasn't before,
Right.
but much more intentional and discerning. Because it's like with intentionality, you're able to know whether or not you need to keep this person in your life as a friend or to hold on to them from a distance. And that's, okay, but definitely prayer, and always be intentional about them.
Yes.
I feel like I'm also going to say prayer. I was about to get into my voice because I just thought of juicy thoughts. But the reason why I'm saying prayer is because God knows our heart's desires, right?
Yes.
He knows, okay, Taye needs a friend. I need to send Taye a friend in this season. But is she prepared to have that friend?
Yeah.
So that prayer automatically saturates that friend with readiness. Like I know this season
I'm
Taye is
feeling that.
stepping in.
That was good.
That
I'm
she
feeling that.
deserves this friend.
Yes.
She's willing. She's like, she needs this friend.
Yes.
Because I kid you not, like, we have our parents, but some people don't see their parents as their friends, right?
No, yeah.
At some point over time, you want like, I want to be chilling with my dad on this. Or I want to be chilling with my mama on this, Me and my mom, homegirl.
How about it?
Yes. We always have a
My
yap
mom's
session.
name in my phone is Mommy Squirrel.
Yes. I don't call my mom.
I
It's
call her mom.
Mommy.
Yes.
Mommy.
I be like, hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
Yes. How you doing?
Yeah. So
I
like,
love using Pookie.
the readiness in that season, like at some point I was building my relationship with my mom. We became closer. Same thing with my dad. We became closer. So it's like, at the end of the day, like, are you ready in that season praying about it? And God knows, even if you're not even saying it in your prayer, God's reading your heart. Like he's saying, okay, she's thinking about a friend, but she's not asking for it. Yeah. But I'm going to make sure she's ready in time for that friend when that person gets there and knock on that door. The appointed time.
Yeah, like everybody is saying prayer for and like being prayer, which is something I really much agree with. I also say we pray for the spirit of discernment. Like Jackie was saying earlier. Once you have that spirit, once you pray for the spirit of discernment, God is going to be able to put you into spaces that you belong.
That you need
He's
to
going
be
to bring
in.
that community that you belong.
Yep.
He's also going to put you into rooms where you belong. So like praying for being prayerful and having the spirit of discernment, it helps you so much to be able to get away from toxic friends. And that plays into our next question.
Wait, but before we move on real quick, I wanted to say this because it stood out to me when Taye was talking.
Yes.
It says, for if they fall, one will lift up his fellow, but woe to him who is alone when he falls and has not another to lift him up. And just like how you said, God would saturate that person with what you need in that season. That person is here to now lift you up wherever you may feel like you're lacking. Not even where you feel like you're lacking. Wherever they see that you're lacking, they will lift you up. So that just stood out to me. And that's Ecclesiastes 4.
Yeah, and then also, let's get into our next question, like I was saying. So I had like 2 more questions, but I think I'm going to break it down to one. This one is between soft and like harsh.
Okay.
I'm not sugarcoating it, guys. I'm so sorry.
She
ladies
said
and
soft
gents.
tissue and hard tissue.
This next question, I'm gonna say this one Bible passage before I say the question. It's Amos 3 verse 3. Can two walk together except they be agreed, knowing when to walk away? So that's gonna be my next question. Knowing when to walk away, like outgrowing friends. Have you ever felt like you outgrew a friend? How did you navigate it without making it messy? Or what held you back from like staying in that friendship? Like even though you outgrew the person. And I'm just gonna ask this other question too. So it's like one, how do you also navigate a toxic friend?
Okay. I could say this. I outgrew a couple people. How did I basically like, I went to someone that I valued their opinion, that I knew they were wise, where I knew, okay, with the outside, like someone older than me, basically, I went to them with advice or asking for advice. Okay, this is what's going on. This is what's bothering me. And you know, when they said, did you talk to that friend yet? That's exactly what they ended up telling me to do. Talk to that friend. How do you want to deal with it? And even talking to the friend, it was just like, it's like they weren't listening. They wouldn't want, like they weren't interceding enough.
Wow.
So when I went back to the older individual, they were like, you know what, Taye, this is a test to see if that person values your friendship. Yeah. They said, pour into them, right? But when you pour into them, that very moment after you speak to them, take a step back and see if they decide to shift and pour back into you.
if they didn't care enough, if once I brought this conversation up, they didn't care enough to value the friendship, knowing it bothered me, right? Yeah. And knowing how close we were. You saw me, you saw that person. So it's like, if we did that, were you willing enough to say, okay, Taye reached out to me and said, this is like, she missed our friendship. She want to talk about this. Am I going to intercede, or am I going to show up? Am I going to talk to that person? Am I going to go back and like, figure out how to amend it? It's not one-sided, it's both sides. So that's like what I did. What was your second question though?
The second question was, how do you navigate a toxic friend?
Toxic friend, definitely pray about it. If I pray that quick prayer about any relationship, if you need to get out of my life, you need to get out of my life. God, is this person meant to be here? They're meant to be here. If I need to wrap it up, wrap it up. Yeah. And once I feel that, okay, like probably day 2, day 3, okay, yeah. We're talking about it. Like, hey, I just think we don't have any substance in our friendship, and I just want to address this. And yeah.
And then also, like, just before we get out of our last question, I think navigating toxic, for me, I think because I love to give people grace a lot, I tend to miss the red flags in certain relationships, or if I'm building relationships. I'm not like that no more, guys, because I've learned my lesson. But like, I think I just had a whole bunch of love to give to people that I just kind of turned blindsided to being toxic situations, like friendship, like I'm growing. So how like I kind of took myself out of that is by hearing people around me saying, this person is giving frenemies. Like, somebody else says it? Like, frenemies. Because I've never heard anybody tell me, like, friends that I have is giving frenemies. But it's like me and this person was like, she was like on a competition, and I don't do competition. One thing I never do with my friends is competition. That's very scary, and you need to seek help. Anyways, but yeah, so like when it comes to navigating toxic friends nowadays, like you said, praying about it and having that spirit of discernment to be able to tell me, hey God, like you said, is this person meant to be in my life? If they're not, take them out. Because I did not pray for those friendships that I was growing, like I was putting myself into. I got hurt in the situation. I got literally misled. I got out of character, and I'm never out of character. So like, that's why I'm like, nowadays, once I notice there is some type of red flag there, or like I feel like we are not aligning in our beliefs or whatever it is, I'm taking a step back. And if it's meant to be or it's meant to happen, God is definitely going to bring that relationship back to me. So yeah.
Okay, well, I'll go. But the first question as to how do you handle a toxic friend? I would say that when it comes to handling a toxic friend, of course, discernment as well. Like, always have your discernment up in any relationship, even in your workspace.
Yes.
Have your discernment up. And if you don't feel like your discernment is strong, pray on it. Pray for God to equip you with that. Yeah. So the spirit of discernment is always around you. So you can be careful where you're going and you don't get hurt when you go into those certain spaces. Yeah. And I would say that for the question of, have I ever had to navigate a friendship that I knew I should have removed myself? I would say yes. And I had to really think about it when you asked it, because I was like, have I ever had a relationship with someone that I had to navigate myself out of? It didn't even get to the point of a relationship. Yeah. Because they weren't a bad person.
Yeah.
Oh, she had to sit up.
I had to sit up. They weren't a bad person. Right. They never did anything to me I didn't like. They didn't do anything to anyone else that I didn't like. I just knew that we did not align.
Yeah.
Like, I instantly felt it. My spirit would never let me hang out with this person.
Right.
My spirit would never let me create a relationship where I can call them on the phone and talk to them on the phone. They will call me, I don't answer. They would text me, I don't respond. They would try to do things with me, and I'm just like, no, I want to, but I don't
really crave for it.
I'm not craving it. Yeah. And then that's when I would observe like how I am with other people, and then this person, and I'm just like, we're just not. We're not on the same path. We're not on the same path. And that was an example of when the person hasn't done anything to you, but you just know that. Yeah, you know they wear the same parts.
Yeah,
period. So let me go my way, you go your way.
Right. Stay in your lane.
And I know that person felt away because they would tell another person who was closer to them. But I was just like, I mean, I can't.
It is
fix
what
it.
it is.
Yeah. I'm saying on because
it is what it is.
I know, like you're in a relationship with me, but I just can't. I can't give that to you.
Yeah.
It takes me back to Ecclesiastes 3 first 1, where it's like there's a time and season for everything. You know, like you say, navigate and how to let go of a friend. You know, sometimes people are brought into our lives to show us certain things, to help us grow in a certain area. But there's a time where it's like, okay, your job here is done, job well done. You know, and we don't need to move into the next season, or we don't need to carry it into the next season. And some people come and they serve their purpose, you know, and it's beautiful and it's great. But in regards to letting go, sometimes it's like, that's one thing I really had to sit down and talk to God about. And I think I was talking about it with you guys. I don't know if it's you guys or who I was talking about it with, but I had to sit down with the Lord and really speak to him about this, because I'm like, okay, why are they not here anymore? Like, you know, why didn't I come into the season with this person? You know, why are they not here? But the Lord has continuously told me it's a lot of places that I want to take you that they were not meant to follow you.
Yeah.
Listen.
Get it go. It's okay. Because not everybody will follow you
Yes.
into where the Lord is taking you, or the destiny that he has ordained for you. Not everybody will follow you there. So it's like really asking him, like, Lord, is it time to let go? And he will surely tell you it's time to let go.
Yeah.
And you have to listen to him. Open up your ear and listen to him. You know, sometimes we say, Lord, he tells us, but we don't sit down to really hear from him what he has to tell us about that situation. So it's so important. Yeah, it's so important to listen to him.
Heavy on
But
that.
navigating or dealing with toxic friends, bro, I give you to the Lord. I submit you over to the Lord. I surrender you over to the Lord. Because if you are continuously draining me, it's
heavy.
well. You know, my favorite phrase to say, it's well, because it's well.
All is well.
You know,
It is
all
well.
is well. I give it to the Lord.
Yes.
And I'll take a step back and pray for you.
Yeah. And that's why I be telling everybody, I like to use this term where it's like, we like certain friends that you start growing with is a caterpillar. They can crawl in the season with you, but they're not going to be the butterfly in the next season. So they're not going to be flying with you in the next season of the life that God is putting you into. So that's my motto. If nobody know me, the thing that will come out of my mouth most of the time to friends or things that I have to walk away is I will let them know, hey, I do not hate you as a person because you had your time with me. You was crawling in this season with me because you was not meant to fly in this season with me. You was not meant to be the butterfly. And and that's
All of you ladies touched everything I wanted to say,
yeah.
but I wanted to say, like, life is made up of seasons: springs, new beginnings; summers, flourishing; and autumn's change; and winter stillness. Through all of these, God places people in our lives to walk with us, challenge us, uplift us, and remind us of his presence. Sisterhood in particular is a God-given gift that sustains us through every season. And even with the toxicity, every season, every single season.
Yeah.
So
That was good.
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
That's gonna be my last question. I will have given you guys another self question, but it is well. Let's be a pretty butterfly. And that closes us up today with our topic of sisterhood and seasons. And I pray that God continue to bless this
There were no
sisterhood that we
tears,
have.
but
I know, actually, guys, there was no tears.
Nobody
Thank God,
cried.
nobody
well,
cried.
not to say I held mine.
We did get a
I
little
held
emotional,
mine.
but
I
no
thought you were
cries.
about to get
I
emotional.
know, I was going to get emotional, but I had to stop myself and be like, Fifth, get it together. You don't want to be crying on camera for these people. Anyways, yeah, like that's going to close it up to with our last, like just whatever we have to say for our sisterhood and seasons, like
Yeah.
you guys see. We weren't created to do life alone.
Yes.
God put us on this earth to have community
Yeah.
and have deep, meaningful friendships and relationships with people. So I pray that each and every one of you guys out there have and find that community that uplifts and challenge you to be a better person every day in life.
Yeah.
To move you, to be able to hold you accountable for certain things that you do. That we're not taking offense to that. Because at the end of the day, we like Jackie said earlier, irons sharpen irons. We're here to help each other grow, to uplift each other. And I pray that this community continue helping each other grow.
Amen.
And uplift each other. And I pray that your community that you have continue to help you grow, uplift you, challenge you, and make you the better woman or man that you're called to be. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was a wrap of today's conversation with These Girls Can Yap, and we are CGCY. Let's go. Let's go.